Hi, I'm Laurence Smith. I'm a lecturer at the University of Reading and a visiting researcher at the Swedish University of Agricultural Science. And I'm leading Work Package 1, which is about engaging with stakeholders within the livestock sector in Europe and learning from innovations in case studies. Understanding the drivers and barriers for change is a really key component of mitigating greenhouse gas emissions and adapting to climate change. And talking to practitioners is a key part of that process in ensuring that policies are really affecting the farmers who are making the practical decisions on a day-to-day basis. So this work package is very much engaging with farmers to try and ensure that we get the information directly from the producers who are tackling the challenges of climate change directly in their day-to-day lives. So we're taking those recommendations and challenges to the policy community to make sure that the new policies that are developed within the Common Agricultural Policy and similar policies outside of the EU are really relevant to those producers and the challenges they're facing. The other aspect of the work is, of course, talking to the wider industry, so advisors, companies who are supplying feed, fertilizer, etc., in terms of how those stakeholders can assist the tackling of those challenges that are being faced by those farmers within our case studies. Yeah, so we've been very active over the first year of the project, and one of the main things we've been doing, first of all, is to train facilitators who were very key to this engagement that we're doing in the project. So we've had a lot of training led by the University College Dublin in terms of how to interact effectively with small groups to get information out and to make everybody feel comfortable and included. So after that training, we went out and held initial workshops in the UK and Spain, working with farmers and other stakeholders to understand the challenges that they're facing and some of the solutions to those challenges as well, and also to define what resilience means to these farmers and other stakeholders, which will be key to work in other work packages. Another big piece of work that's been going on in Work Package 1 is the development of a data collection tool, which is based on the public goods tool, which is an assessment tool I developed about 12 years ago at the Organic Research Centre, working with colleagues there. And we're using this sustainability assessment tool to collect data from over 100 farms across Europe to learn from what these innovative practitioners are doing and to understand trade-offs across the different elements of sustainability, not just climate change, but also social aspects, biodiversity and economic aspects as well within that assessment. That piece of work has been developing the tool to make it appropriate to the Re-Livestock project and particularly to climate change mitigation and adaptation challenges. And another piece of work in Work Package 1 has been developing and interacting with an international European platform of policymakers. So that includes the NGOs, researchers at other universities and institutes outside of the consortium, as well as other stakeholders from public charities and other organisations, to understand how the future of livestock could look in 2050. So that's in particular focused on developing scenarios and understanding drivers and barriers to achieving those scenarios for the future. I think Re-Livestock gives a unique opportunity for the livestock sector in Europe to really understand the benefits as well as the challenges associated with livestock systems. So one of the ways we're doing that is through improved assessment methods to really highlight the trade-offs associated with different types of livestock farming. And I think that's something that's perhaps been missing in the evidence to date, looking at the sort of holistic benefits and costs of livestock farming. So instead of focusing on one issue, we're taking a broad perspective in Re-Livestock, so considering economic factors as well as environmental and social. So I think that is a big plus for the project. It's a very holistic approach that we're taking right across the work packages, and that will really help make sure that policies are fit for purpose moving forward. So I think for the livestock sector, I hope that Re-Livestock can end with recommendations that lead to policies that are really suitable for livestock producers and practitioners on the ground. And in terms of society, I think the benefits with regard to mitigation and adaptation will be there with regard to reducing the impacts of climate change and helping us to adapt more broadly in terms of the methods of agriculture that we're using through those policies, and also through the knowledge that we're sharing from the innovations that are being used in our case studies. Just making more farmers and other practitioners aware of these innovations and how they can use them, and some of the barriers and drivers to achieving them. But more broadly, I think this consideration of the economic and social aspects of these innovations will help society in general as we sort of develop more holistic policies that consider trade-offs and not just one issue. It's a very mixed group of researchers we have in our project, so not just animal scientists, but we're working with social scientists, economists and beyond. So we're bringing together diverse groups, and through this we can produce real meaningful and concrete and helpful policy recommendations. For me, Re-Livestock is a unique opportunity to bring together the industry and experts from right across the disciplines in research in agriculture and food systems to produce policies and practices that are really fit for purpose in tackling the problems of climate change mitigation and, of course, adaptation to the conditions we're already experiencing in Europe and beyond. So I think we have a unique chance to harness this resource that we have within the project, and I'm really excited to see what it delivers over the coming years.